Hare Krishna. So today we'll discuss about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings to Sanatana Goswami. Yesterday we discussed about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, and then when he was returning, he stopped in Prayag, and there he met Srila Rupa Goswami. And then from Prayag, he went to Varanasi, Kashi, and there he met Srila Sanatana Goswami. Yesterday I mentioned that I will briefly discuss about Srila Sanatana Goswami today, because when you speak about Rupa Goswami, you cannot really separate Sanatana Goswami from him. Like they're so intimately connected, not only as brothers, but also as devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sanatana Goswami is the elder brother, Rupa Goswami was younger, and both of them were involved in the ministry of the ruler of Bengal at that time, the Muslim ruler Hussain Shah. And Rupa Goswami left, and Sanatana Goswami also lost all interest in mundane affairs. So Sanatana Goswami stopped going to the court. So King Hussain Shah wanted to find out why. He sent message, and Sanatana Goswami responded saying that he was not well. So Hussain Shah sent the royal physician to check him, and the physician came back and said, it's fine, there was nothing wrong with him. So then Hussain Shah himself came to Sanatana Goswami's house, and he found that Sanatana Goswami, along with a group of Brahmanas, were discussing about Krishna Katha, consulting Srimad Bhagavatam. So he asked, what's the matter? You said that you are not well, and the physician reported that you are perfectly all right, and now I come here and I see that you are just sitting with other Brahmanas and discussing religious matter. So then Sanatana Goswami said, yes, physically I am all right, but mentally I am becoming sick. Then then King said, okay, but still keep coming to the court. He said, look, I don't have any interest in managing the royal affairs. So the king, although he was a Muslim, but he was so fond of Sanatana Goswami that he used to treat him like his brother, younger brother. And he said, look, your elder brother is a bandit. He just goes to places, plunder people, loot them, and kill people. So you are the one who is actually maintaining the kingdom, the affairs of the kingdom. So if you don't come to the court, then what's going to happen? But still Sanatana Goswami insisted that, look, please let me retire. I'm not interested in these affairs anymore. Then Hussain Shah told, okay, I'm going to Orissa to fight with King Prataprudra, so you come with me. Sanatana Goswami declined. He said, look, you're just going there to give trouble to the Lord. I don't want to be a party to that. I don't want to go. The King Hussain Shah became so angry with him, he immediately ordered his bodyguards, to arrest him and put him in prison. And he said that when I come back after the conquest of Orissa, then I'll treat with him, deal with him. So in this way, Sanatana Goswami, although he was the chief minister, he was put into prison. And then Sanatana Goswami started to negotiate with the prison keeper, prison in charge. And he started to tell him that, look, I have taken a path of religiosity, path of dharma. Actually, I want to go to Makkah, and I have lost all interest. So you release me. And so he said that, look, I can release you, but what the king will do to me. Then Sanatana Goswami said, look, you release me, I'll give you 7,000 gold coins. Then finally, being tempted by this, such a huge amount of bribing, that the prison keeper agreed to release him. And Sanatana Goswami told him there's a device that he can follow, that he would tell everybody that Sanatana Goswami went with chained up, he went to the bank of the river to pass stool, and then he fell into the river, and although he looked around but couldn't find him, and he must have drowned because he was all chained. And so this is how Sanatana Goswami escaped. You remember Rupa Goswami kept 10,000 gold coin as a saving. So Sanatana Goswami actually used that money to become free from the prison. And he took the forest road, because through the regular road, he was so popular, people would recognize him. So he took the forest path, and with one companion, a servant, Iskcon. And in this way, they came to the border of Bihar and Bengal. And then he took rest at one roadside inn. And the innkeeper was very, very respectful and treated him very nicely. So Sanatana Goswami started to wonder that why he is looking like a beggar, why this innkeeper is treating him with such respect and honor. So he started to think something must be wrong. So he already told his servant not to carry anything with him, not to take any money. So he asked his servant, do you have anything with you, any money with you? And he said, yes, I am carrying 7 gold coins. So Sanatana Goswami said, oh, give it to me. So he went and gave that money to the innkeeper. And he said that, look, this is the money I have with me, so you take it. So then the innkeeper admitted that he had an astrologer who can, through astrological calculation, he can figure out how much money one is carrying. So he knew that he was carrying 8 gold coins. And that's why he thought of killing him that night and take the money from him. So he said that now I can see that you are a very saintly person. So you keep the money with you. I don't want it. But Sanatana Goswami said, look, these gold coins are like a bunch of snakes, poisonous snakes. And they can bite at any time and cause me to die. So please take them, I don't need it. And then he went to and Sanatana Goswami said, please, with your men, let me go across the mountain. Because, that road was that passage was very difficult. So in this way, the innkeeper agreed to take him across the mountain, help him to go across the mountain. And so he went back to his servant, Ishan, and asked him, so Ishan, do you still have any more money with you? Ishan said, yes, I have 1 gold coin still. He said, okay, you take that and go back home. So now Sanatana Goswami started to travel alone. And he came to a place called Ghazipur, and he was sitting on the bank of the Ganges. And then his brother-in-law, who was actually deputed here to buy horses and elephants for the king. There was a big marketplace there where the animals were sold. And so he was there too. So he was appointed by the king. And he recognized Sanatana Goswami. And he asked him to take a rest for a few days. Sanatana Goswami said, no. If I stay here, then people will recognize me, so better I leave. And so he gave him an expensive blanket because it was getting cold at that time. Sanatana Goswami accepted that, and he went to Benares. And there he got to know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So he was in the house of Tapan Mishra, and he was in the house of Chandrasekhar. And so Sanatana Goswami was just waiting outside. He got to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that go and, he asked Tapan Mishra actually, like go and see, there is a Vaishnava outside, so ask him to come in. So he went back and said, no, there was no Vaishnava outside. So he asked, is there anyone outside there? And so he came back and he said, yes, there was a Muslim fakir, a Muslim mendicant, because Sanatana Goswami, due to his travel and the kind of dress he was wearing, he looked more like a Muslim with his beard. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, bring him in. So in this way, Sanatana Goswami was brought to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately embraced him. Then Sanatana Goswami said, please, please don't touch me. I'm so fallen and I'm so dirty. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am touching you to become purified myself. With the potency of your devotion, you can deliver the whole universe, whole material world. Tomas Porshi Atma Povitrite. Bhakti bole paro tumi brahmanda shodhite. I am just touching you, Tomas Porshi, Atma Povitrite, in order to just purify myself. With Bhakti bole, with the potency of your devotion, you can deliver the whole universe. So this is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received Sanatana Goswami. And he told him, just go and get civilized. So Chandrasekhar took him to Ganga. He took a bath and shaved up and took a bath and came back. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was happy to see that he was cleaned up, clean shaven. But still he was wearing that expensive blanket. Oh, in the meantime, something happened. Chandrasekhar gave him a new set of cloth. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami said, no, give me some old cloth. He didn't want to wear the new cloth. So he gave him an old dhoti. So he split the dhoti into two, and with one half, he wrapped around his loin, and the other half he wrapped around his torso. So that became actually the dress of the Goswamis of Vrindavan. The way they dress, white, like loincloth and just a chadar like that. So Mahaprabhu was very happy to see him that way, but he just looked at his expensive blanket. So he didn't say anything, just looked at it. But Sanatana Goswami understood. So immediately he went to the bank of the Ganges and he saw a Bengali Vaishnava was taking bath there. So Sanatana Goswami asked him, can you please give me your kantha? It's a worn out clothes stitched together for the winter time called kantha. So in exchange of this, so that person thought that he was joking with him. So he said, from your appearance, it looks like a gentleman. Then why are you making such a dirty joke with me? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, Sanatana Goswami said, no, I actually mean it. Please take it. So then taking that worn out old rag, so he went back. And this time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased with him. He said, Krishna is an expert physician. So when he's curing your disease, why would he leave any trace of the disease? Like the disease of material attachments. So why he would leave? He's cured you, but this was the last bit that was a little bit of that disease may have been there, so he cured it also. So this is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sanatana Goswami in Benares. Then he instructed him for 7 days. And that teachings is extremely wonderful. That it is said that Sanatana Goswami received the instruction on Sambandha Gyan when Rupa Goswami received the Abhidheya aspect, the way to get Krishna. And this is Sambandha Gyan, who is Krishna. And so he started with the identity of a living entity. Jiver Swarup hai Krishner Nitya Das, Krishner Tatastha Shakti Bheda Bhed Prakash. So the living entity's actual identity is, Swarup is, that he is an eternal servant of Krishna, Krishner Nitya Das. And he is Krishna's marginal potency. In that way, he is Bhed and Abhed. Krishna has 3 potencies: Chit Shakti, Maya Shakti, and Tatastha Shakti. His Chit Shakti is the spiritual world. His Maya Shakti is this material nature, illusory potency of the Lord, external potency of the Lord. And the jivas are tatastha. Tatastha means marginal. The identity of a margin is that on this side it's Krishna's internal potency, and on the other side is Krishna's external potency. And being marginal, a living entity has the liberty or freedom to be on either of these potencies. That is the prerogative that the living entity has to decide, and that's the purpose of his independence. for him to decide on which side he wants to be, whether he wants to be in Krishna's external energy or he wants to be in Krishna's internal energy. The qualification to be in Krishna's internal energy is that he has to become surrendered to Krishna. And when one doesn't surrender to Krishna, rather wants to enjoy independently without Krishna, then he remains in this material nature. And he told, Krishna bhuli shei jeev anadi bohir mukh otoeb maya tare day samsar. When a living entity, a conditioned soul, forgets Krishna. In a Prem Vivarta, Jagadananda Pandit gave a further explanation to that, that with the moment a living entity turns away from Krishna, Krishna bohir mukh hoiya bhogovancha kare, nikotastha maya tare japotiya dhare. When a living entity just turns his face away from Krishna, and since the living entities are very minute, he can project his consciousness just onto one point. So when he turns away from Krishna, he looks into Krishna's external potency. Krishna bohir mukh hoiya. Bohir mukh, mukh means face. There are antarmukh and bohir mukh, towards Krishna or away from Krishna. The moment he looks away from Krishna, what is away from Krishna? Krishna's external energy, inferior energy. And a jiva, a living entity, is from Krishna's superior energy. But material nature is Krishna's inferior energy. Therefore, a living entity who is superior naturally develops a tendency to lord over the inferior energy. And that gives him the covering of false ego. He loses his spiritual identity as a servant of Krishna, and he becomes covered over by his mistaken identity, wrong identity. Instead of becoming a servant, he starts to think that he is the Lord and Master of everything that he pervades, that he sees. And that is the cause of a living entity's bondage in this material nature. The first covering is the covering of false ego. Then with intelligence, he begins to plan how he is going to exploit this material nature. Second covering. And then through mind, his consciousness constantly flows towards the material direction. And this is how a living entity becomes entrapped in this material nature. And this Maya is Krishna's own potency. It may be inferior and the living entity may be coming from the superior, but Maya is Krishna, is extremely powerful. Daibi Hesha Gunamayi. The Maya is extremely powerful because it's Krishna's energy. And living entities are minute. Therefore, when the living entity comes in under the influence of Maya, he gets he loses his spiritual identity completely, and he becomes entrapped in this illusory influence of Maya. And he begins to identify his gross and subtle body to be his self. And he thinks that with his body, through his senses, he is going to enjoy here. And that is the way a living entity becomes conditioned or trapped or entangled and bound in this material nature. Daibi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duraptaya. But then again, Krishna is saying, Mame Vaji Prapadante Mayame Tantarante. So when one surrenders unto Krishna, then he can become free from the illusory energy of the Maya. So Sanatana Goswami then told him that a living entity doesn't have any knowledge about Krishna. Maya Mugdho Jiber Nahi Shatak Krishna can. Sataha means spontaneously, on his own, by his own. A living entity on his own cannot have the knowledge about Krishna. Therefore, in order to deliver the conditioned souls, Krishna has given the Vedas and Puranas. Maya Mugdha Jiber Nahi Shatta Krishna can. Jeev Uddharite Krishna Koilo Veda Puran. He gave the Vedas and Purans in order to deliver the living entities. So, so that is why the only way a living entity can be delivered from this bondage of this material nature, when he becomes exposed to the wisdom that has been given by Krishna in the Vedas and Puranas. But here also the other consideration is that in order to receive the or in order to get the understanding, proper understanding of the Vedas and Puranas, one needs a teacher. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pointed out to Rupa Goswami. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Beach. Although the Vedas and Puranas there, but one can receive the seed of devotional creeper, Bhakti Lata, only when one comes across a bona fide spiritual master by the mercy of Krishna. So the Vedas are there, Puranas are there, the scriptures are there, these transcendental books with transcendental knowledge are there, but this knowledge can be revealed only when one comes across a bona fide spiritual master. In India, we can see that, like so many people are studying the Vedas and Puranas. They are such experts in their studies. They memorize, they're people, they have memorized all those scriptures, but they are not, they didn't get the proper understanding. Most of them are impersonalists. Most of them are bewildered by Mayavad, philosophy of Shankaracharya. Why? Because they haven't come across a bona fide spiritual master. That's why the most important consideration is to come across a qualified teacher who can reveal the scriptures. Divya Hriday Prakashita, the transcendental knowledge is revealed in the heart. It is not revealed by intellectual pursuit. It is revealed only by when one receives the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master. And that's what you can see, like we came across Srila Prabhupada. Somehow or other we came across Srila Prabhupada, and irrespective of our background and everything, we got the essence of the Vedas and scriptures, that's devotional service. And that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us. And what is that knowledge? The knowledge is coming into three aspects, Sanatana Goswami pointing out. Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. Sambandha. Sambandha means to understand Krishna and becoming aware of one's relationship with Krishna. Who is Krishna? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the most important thing to understand. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, Bhagavan. That Advaitattva, the transcendental, non-dual, spiritual reality, can be perceived in three different ways. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabhuti. Brahman, the spiritual light, which is the bodily effulgence of Krishna, which is the cause of the entire material manifestation. And that light, actually, this is the transcendental light, the light of, it's a spiritual light. And that light actually enlightens the entire spiritual sky. The material nature is, material world is lit up by the rays of the sun, whereas the spiritual sky is lit up eternally. There is no darkness in the spiritual world. That light is the Brahma Jyoti, or bodily effulgence of Krishna. And the localized aspect of Krishna, Paramatma, is Krishna's expansion. And Bhagavan is his original identity. The personality, as Prabhupada pointed, as Prabhupada translated, as supreme personality of Godhead. The supreme, he is the supreme. There is nothing above him, and nothing is equal to him. And he is the cause of all causes. He is also the cause of Brahma Jyoti. He is the cause of Super Soul. Even he is the cause of all the incarnations. That is Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So that is Sambandha aspect. And Abhidheya, how to develop the relationship with Krishna. The means to develop the relationship with Krishna, and that means is Bhakti. Not by any other means that is possible. Na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. Jame vaisha brinute tena labha. Vibrinute tena sha. Not by any other means, not by austerities, not by penance, not by studying of the Vedas, not by intellectual pursuits, not by yoga, not by any other means this is possible. The only means is to develop the loving relationship with Krishna, which is expressed through service, devotional service, expression of love through service. We are servants, therefore we have to serve. And what should be the motivating factor for service? Love. So, and then why should one endeavor to become connected to Krishna through devotional service? Because prem, the prayajan, sambandha, abhidheya, and prayajan. And that need is joy. We all want ananda. And we can receive that ananda, joy, simply by being connected to Krishna. Because Krishna is anandamaya, therefore just by being connected to Krishna, one also becomes anandamaya. So in this way, Sanatana Goswami revealed the essential teachings of the Vedas. Ultimate consideration of Vedas are coming to these three aspects. Sambandha, Krishna, Abhidheya, devotional service, prayajan, Ananda. And who is Krishna? Ete changsha kalapungsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That is the identity of Krishna. Krishna is not an incarnation. Rather, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. In Bhagavatam, 24 incarnations have been mentioned. And then it says, Avatara hi asankhayo. There are innumerable incarnations of the Lord. But Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. All those incarnations are Krishna's expansions. Ete changsha kala pungsha. They are angsa, Krishna's parts, and kala, parts of the parts. But Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And in this way, Krishna identity is established. And then Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, Krishna resides in Vrindavan. The original personality of Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Aradha Bhagavan Brajeshu Tanai. The supreme worshipable personality of Godhead is the son of Nanda Maharaj, the king of the Braja, Brajeshu Tanai. Stadhamo Vrindavanam, and his abode is Vrindavan. Not the Krishna of Dwarka, not the Krishna, the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, specifically the son of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Jashoda, the Krishna of Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, Krishna's first expansion is Balaram, his Vilas Vigraha. Same, Balaram and Krishna, same, only the bodily complexion is different. Krishna is sham. Krishna's bodily complexion is like blue sapphire, Indra Nilamani, or Ghana sham. But Balaram's complexion is milk white. That is the first expansion. And then from Balaram expands the Chaturbhuja of Dwarka, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. The son of Devaki and Vasudev is of Dwarka or Mathura is Vasudev Krishna. And then Balaram expands as Sankarshan, and then Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So in this way, then the further expansion, like Narayans of Vaikuntha, further expansions in order to create the material nature, Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. So in this way, Krishna is expanding. And then Sanatana Goswami explained about all these innumerable incarnations fall in 6 categories. 6 categories. First is Purushavatars, Vishnu. Vishnu lying in causal ocean. From his breathing, from even every pore of his body, the universe, that bubbles that are generated in the causal ocean are the universes. Innumerable universes are coming out from his body. Then he expands himself as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu and enters into each of these universes, fills up the universe with the water from his body. Just as one sweats, similarly the water came from Vishnu's body, and therefore it's called Swedabadi, sweat water. And he lies there in that water, on the bed of Ananta Shesha. From his navel sprouts one lotus. Brahma is situated in that, on that lotus. And this is how the universal creation begins. And then he enters in the heart of every living entity and also in the heart of every single atom as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is lying in the milk ocean. These are the Purusha avatars. Then Leela avatars, the Lord performs his pastimes, various pastimes, as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Ram, Nrsimha. These are his Leela avatars. Then Guna avatars, the Lord controls or monitors the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And they are the Guna avatars. As Brahma, he controls the mode of passion. As Vishnu, he controls the mode of goodness. And as Mahesh, controls the mode of ignorance. Three Gunavatars. Then there are four Yugas: Satyayug, Tretayug, Dwapar and Kali Yug. In four Yugas, he appears as four Yugavatars, as Sheta, Rakta, Krishna, and Pita. Sheta, Rakta, Tatha, Pita, Idaning Krishna Tangata. Gargamuni pointed out that in four Yugas, this personality appears in assuming four different complexions. In Satyayuga, in white complexion; in Treta Yuga, reddish complexion; in Dwapar Yuga, in darkish complexion; and in Kali Yuga, molten golden or yellowish complexion. So this is how the Lord manifests himself in four Yugas as Yugavatars. Then in a day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And during that reign of each Manu, the Lord manifests himself as Manvanta avatar. Like in this Manvantar, Vaivashvata Manvantar, he appeared as Vaman incarnation. So, and then Shaktavesh avatar. Some living entities become empowered by the Lord as in order to achieve something extremely extraordinary responsibility or extraordinary assignment. Like as Parashuram and one Saktavesh avatar. He single-handedly wiped out all the Kshatriyas from this world 21 times. So this is how they enact an impossible feat. Vasudev compiled all the Vedas. And Prithu Maharaj and Narad Muni. So wherever there is this, there we see that some extraordinary personality is achieving something extremely wonderful. We have to recognize that that is the display of Lord's, display of being empowered by the Lord. So this is how Sanatana Goswami mentioned about the 6 categories of incarnations: Purushavatar, Leelavatar, Gunavatar, Yugavatar, Manvantar Avatar, and Shaktavesh Avatar. So this is the basic summary, I can say, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings to Sanatana Goswami. Srila Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari. Does anybody have any? I'll say first, I'll ask Jayadvaita Maharaj, do you have any comment, please? Are you monitoring?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm monitoring. I'm unmuting Maharaj.
Okay, you finally unmuted me. Well, these Chaturvyuha, so Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Niruddha. You mentioned that they're Dwarka expansions.
Yeah.
Then, but they're also in Vaikuntha?
Yeah, that's right. Narayan also has his Chaturbhuha.
So this is a different Chaturvyuha.
That's a different Chaturbhuha. Adi Mool Chaturbhuha is as Mool Shankarshan, Dwarka, and then expansion of Narayan. And Narayans also have Vasudev Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And from this Shankarshan comes Mahavishnu.
And the Chaturvyuha in Dwarka, they don't expand further except for Balaram.
They're expansions of Balaram. From Balaram comes this Chaturbhuha in Dwarka.
Then do they expand further?
Yeah, then, well, actually expand, yeah, say for example, in Vaikuntha, Vasudev is becoming Narayan, right? And Shankarshan, or say Shankarshan is becoming Shankarshan, and Pradyumna and Aniruddha. And then all these expansions are actually same as Vasudeva expansion. Like Ramchandra, like Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrugna is another expansion of this Chaturbhuha. Ram is Vasudev, Lakshman is Sankarshan, and Bharat and Shatrugna, Pradyumna and Aniruddha.
Do they come through Narayan?
Yeah, no, they're coming actually from Kshirodakshayi Vishnu.
Right.
These incarnations are expansions of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Raja Gopal.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, do you want to announce results today before we take questions?
Oh, right, that's true. Yeah. So the third, yeah. Okay. The result of the quiz, the third day, in third position. Okay, first there were total participation was 82, and in third position there are 3 of them. They're Premarupa Radha Dasi from Surat, then Satvik Saraf also from Surat, and Bansidhari Gopal Das from Charlotte. So all 3 of them got 93% accuracy. Thank you. Then in second position, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Shamsundar Krishna Das from Melbourne, Radha from New York, Sudevi from West Bengal, then Shushmita Radhika from Bangalore, and Vishakha Priyadasi from Surat. So they all got 96% accuracy. And just consider when the second position got 96%, what is the result? What is the score of first position? 100%. And that is two of them, Chakuri Radha Dasi, Surat, and Mithiladhish Das, Bangalore. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari.
Maharaj, we have questions lined up. I will give for new devotees to start with. We have like 6 questions. Ratirupa Vrajeshwari Devdasi. Mataji, you are on unmute. Go ahead and.
Prabhuji, actually, this is Srinivas Prabhu.
Prabhuji,
Maharaj.
turn on video, Prabhuji.
Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, can you see me?
Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead and ask question to Maharaj. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, thank you for the nice lecture about today's Sanatana Goswami. And today, I think the lecture has too many words of Maya. So, Maya is the external energy of Krishna, but it actually causes lot of illusion, and we are all fall in the material world, and that is where we are struggling now. Then why our holy place, the Mayapur, is kept as a Mayapur actually?
Yeah, a
Is there
good
any
point. Very
reason?
good point. Very good point. You see, Maya has got 2 aspects also. Like one is Mahamaya and the other is Jogomaya. You see, as Mahamaya, she punishes the living entities, those who have become averse to Krishna. She is Durga. She punishes the demons.
Okay.
Or the living entities, those who have become inimical towards Krishna. And as Jogomaya, she actually is assisting Krishna in his pastimes, right? And so those who are non-devotees, she is Mahamaya. Those who are devotees, she is Jogomaya. As Mahamaya, she is punishing the living entities, and as Jogomaya, she is helping the living entities to go to Krishna, right? And Mayapur, you may have seen, the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared is called Jogopit, the actual seat of Jogomaya, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And in this respect, Prabhupada actually gave a very wonderful analogy, like a policeman. The police, he punishes the criminals. And the same policeman escorts a law-abiding person to see the king or the governor. So same policeman, to the miscreants, he is in one way, and to the law-abiding citizen, he is in another way. So that is how Jogomaya and Mahamaya. So Mayapur, it is a seat of Jogomaya, right?
Okay, great.
Thank you, Srinivas.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have Guru Gaurang Prabhu as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Guru Gaurang Prabhu, do you want to ask a question? Let me unmute you. Prabhuji, you're on unmute.
Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj and my
Guru Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances.
I have a simple question. What is the destination of a devotee who, despite years of effort, fails to comprehend these complex subject matters?
Yeah. He is unable to comprehend the so-called complex subject matter because he's not reading Prabhupada's books. If one reads Prabhupada's books, everything becomes crystal clear. Everything becomes so easy so that even a child can understand. So if somebody after so many years of endeavor fails to understand, then we must say that something must be wrong with him.
I was afraid that that might be the answer.
I knew that you knew the answer. You're just trying to check me out.
No, I would not be so presumptuous.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Guru Gauranga Prabhu. Do you all know Guru Gauranga Prabhu? Let me introduce. Guru Gauranga Prabhu is a very, very senior devotee. He is from America, but he became a devotee in Europe, in France. He was studying there in Paris, and just by coming in contact with a devotee and understanding Srila Prabhupada's the importance of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, he gave up his studies and he became a devotee. And in a situation in Paris, those days they didn't have a place to stay. And in that situation, when they didn't have proper place to stay, where they didn't have the means to have prasad properly, he took that hardship of becoming a devotee, giving up his very, very comfortable situation as a foreign student from America in Paris. And then he went to Switzerland and he developed the Swiss Jatra. He is the one who actually created that Swiss Jatra. And then Guru Gauranga Prabhu became a GBC, and he was the Minister of Law. And then Guru Gauranga Prabhu eventually became a very, very successful lawyer. And for 25 years, he was practicing law as a very, very successful lawyer. And now he's back in full-time involvement in Iskcon. We are so happy to have him. And those of you who are from New York, you know that how that we succeeded in retrieving the Brooklyn Temple. And you know, as a part of that, as a member of the team that worked in that mission, I can say that we could retrieve the Brooklyn Temple simply because Guru Gauranga Prabhu, because the way he guided us through, and not only that, he brought in his contacts and influence in the legal area. Because of him, we got the best lawyer in New York to fight for our cause. And not only that, he was a very expensive lawyer, but because of Guru Gauranga Prabhu, he not only cut down his fees to a great extent, but he extended his credit facility to us and to an incredible extent. And probably he at times have felt that we won't be able to pay him at all. But fortunately, we did succeed in paying him. So all glories to Guru Gauranga Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Rajagopal.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. We have questions. Aparajita Singh, devotee, even he or she had question yesterday. You are going to be on unmute.
Okay, Aparajita.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for a wonderful class. Dandavat Pranam. My mother had a question actually.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances into the lotus feet, on the dust of your lotus feet. Maharaj, I have two questions, but second I will ask only if we have time. But first question is, Maharaj, that you mentioned living entities might be coming from a superior platform. Still, they are not that powerful in front of Krishna's inferior energy. So Maharaj, can you elaborate on living entities coming like from superior platforms?
Very good question. Very good question. Okay, this has been explained through an example, this point. See, a spark. Spark is fire, right? But the spark is minute. So as soon as the spark comes out of the fire, it loses its fiery quality. And next to the fire is heap of ash. And falling into the ash, what was fire at one time, that speck of inflammable object, becomes ash, right? Originally it was fire, but because it became separated from fire, it lost its fiery qualities. And falling into the heap of ash, it has become ash. Similarly, we are spiritual, but because we are minute, the moment we become separated from Krishna, we come across this material nature and we become a part of the material nature. We become materialized. We begin to identify ourselves with our material bodies. So that is what happens. Now the question is, how can that speck of inflammable particle that used to be fire at one time can become fire again? Let that go back to fire, let that become connected to fire again, and it will become fire, right? So that's why for the living entities, the way to get back to or regain his spiritual identity is simply to reestablish his relationship with Krishna, and he'll become situated in spiritual identity. All right?
Second question I was wanted to ask is, Maharaj, that after Kali Yuga ends and everything finishes, are we going to have again all the 4 yugas, and again Krishna will come?
Kali Yuga, after 427,000 years, Kalki Avatar will come and wipe out all the miscreants of the age of Kali, and he'll simply protect the devotees, and with the devotees, Satyuga will begin again.
And Maharaj, Krishna will perform same pastimes?
But by Prabhupada's mercy, Satyuga will be again being established, going to be established for 10,000 years. We're in the middle of the age of Kali, practically at the beginning of the age of Kali. That is Prabhupada's mercy.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Maharaj, we have a question from Smohan Gopal Prabhu. You're on unmute.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances. I'm very grateful for the wonderful lecture you gave. My question is that you mentioned in your Uddhav Gita class that by hearing and chanting, you can remember Krishna at the time of death. And similarly, in the last lecture, you mentioned that, by hearing and chanting, one waters the Bhaktalata Bija, and which is you get the highest goal of life, which is Krishna Prem. So my question is that, can it be said that one who remembers Krishna at the time of death has also attained Krishna Prem?
Yeah, you see, remembering Krishna at the time of death will naturally need a lot of practice, right? For example, can you determine what you're going to dream at night? Can you say that tonight I'm going to dream this or that? Tonight I'm going to dream of Krishna. Can you determine that? No. That will happen only when we develop our love for Krishna so much that at the time of death, which is going to be something like falling asleep, we'll be able to remember Krishna. Therefore, when we are alive, we have to practice to develop our love for Krishna. So much so that at the time of death, we'll simply remember Krishna. Because at the time of death, the last thought is going to be where our deepest attachment is. So that's why you see we are practicing this process of devotional service when we are alive, so that at the time of death we can remember Krishna. And also it is important that we have the good fortune of living our body being surrounded by devotees. Because we may forget, but the devotees will remind us at the time of death about Krishna. Okay.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, we have a question from Arundhati Presi Devidasi Mataji. You are on unmute. Go ahead, Mataji. Mataji, you there? Sorry, you are on unmute.
Can you hear me now, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Go ahead. You're live. Go ahead. Ask question to Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Wonderful class, Maharaj. I have a question on the Chaturvyuhas, Maharaj. You explained two Chaturvyuhas, right? One is expansion of Balram. And first one I missed, Maharaj. Do you mind elaborating on that, please?
Yeah, you see, the first Chaturbhuha is in Dwarka, right? You see, Krishna leaves Vrindavan, goes to Mathura to kill Kamsa, right? Now that Krishna is Vasudeva, right? And there in Dwarka, Balaram is Shankarshan, and then Pradyumna and Aniruddha in Dwarka. So these are the original Chaturbhuha. And then there is expansion of Krishna in Vaikuntha as Narayan. All right. And there also there is a Chaturbhuha. Narayan also has a Chaturbhuha of Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Right? And then, so these are the two. One is in Dwarka Chaturbhuha, and the other is in Vaikuntha Chaturbhuha. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have, time is 9:10, Maharaj. We still have 7 more questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Ravi and Srivalli Mataji, Prabhuji, you're on mute. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Dandavat pranams. This is Srivalli from Thailand. My question is, we talked about yesterday, super soul in your heart, it's passive and watching our soul. What is the role of the super soul when the soul is migrating, transmigrating from one body to another body?
Yeah, the super soul goes with that soul, right? The subtle body carries the soul to the next body. And the super soul also goes with the subtle, with the soul.
That's how it remembers what happens in the past life.
Hmm?
That's how the super soul remembers what the soul has done, the karma and everything.
Yeah, right. Super soul knows everything. Super soul knows everything that everybody has done. So that is Krishna. His inconceivable potency. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have questions from Umesh Prabhu. Prabhuji, you're on unmute. Go ahead.
Dandavat Guru Maharaj, wonderful
Hare
lecture. Guru Maharaj, you were talking about the Shaktavesh avatar. Is it possible that Srila Prabhupada could be one of them?
Yes, no doubt about that. Otherwise, how can one achieve what Srila Prabhupada did? Can anybody ever achieve anything like that in the past, in this field? No. Just consider, Christianity took 1,000 years to kind of get its foot. I mean, not 500 years to get its footing. Same thing with Islam. But Srila Prabhupada, in 10 years' time, he just spread this movement all over the world. And not only that, it's expanding. And that also, he started it at the age of 70. When one actually retires from active life, Prabhupada started his life, right? Starting at the age of 70, going to a country like America, without any money, without any contact, without any patronage, single-handedly started the movement, and see what he did in 10 years' time. How can it be without being empowered by Krishna's potency? Right? Yes, Srila Prabhupada is undoubtedly a Shaktavesh avatar, but more. I will say more, because Shaktavesh avatar is a living entity becoming empowered. But Prabhupada is a very, very intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very intimate associate of Radha Krishna. So much so that, you see, we know the spiritual identity of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We know the spiritual identity of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. We know the spiritual identity of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But Prabhupada's spiritual identity we do not know. And when asked, Prabhupada said, if I tell you, you will faint. So what does it mean? Like, we'll faint. We don't faint hearing about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's spiritual identity as one of the manjaris. Okay?
You are so fortunate to be able to serve him.
Yeah, right. We are so fortunate to just have been able to be somehow in contact with him. Somehow we became connected to him and his mercy. That's our inconceivable good fortune.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have Suman Prabhu, Suman Das from New York City. Prabhuji, you're unmute. Go ahead and ask question.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, two questions. First one is about, you mentioned the four forms of the Lord that Gargamuni mentioned, Sweta, Rakta. So does this cycle happens like every kalpa? I mean, yeah. Pita from Mahaprabhu appears in every kalpa.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes only once in a day of Brahma. When Krishna comes, revealing his Braja Leela, then in that following Kali Yuga, Radha and Krishna combining together as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. That happens only once in a day of Brahma. On the 28th Chaturjuga of Vaivashvata Manvantar, in that Dwapar Yuga, Krishna comes with Radharani and reveals his Braja Leela. And in the following Kali Yuga, they come together as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, one more question is about Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami's previous life before they met Mahaprabhu. I kind of heard that they were also in like a Vaishnava community and they were like forced to take the position in Navabhushan Sah's place. Can you just tell something about that?
Oh yeah, right. They were, pure devotees. Actually, they are Mahaprabhu's eternal associates, Krishna's eternal associates. They were, like for example, Sanatan Goswami, when he was a young boy, he received Srimad Bhagavatam. In a dream, he saw a Brahmana came and gave him Srimad Bhagavatam. And then literally it happened. One Brahmana came and gave him Srimad Bhagavatam. And since then, Srimad Bhagavatam became his constant companion. Like he mentioned, Madaika Bandhu, my only friend, my only companion for all time. So we can see, like how absorbed he must have been in Krishna consciousness, even from his childhood. Not childhood, maybe he was a little grown up at that time. And then where they used to live, they created Radha Kund, they created Vrindavan, they created Shyam Kund, Radha Kund, Govardhan. So we can see like how absorbed they must have been, in Krishna consciousness. And then you see like King Hussain Shah became aware of their brilliance and decided to have them as his ministers. And the thing is that if they declined, Hussain Shah was so tyrannical, then probably he would have, nobody can imagine what they could have done. Like an example of how cruel he was, you see, he conquered a place and he created a victory tower to kind of, remind everybody about his victory. And it's a tall, very high tower. And when it was completed, he was inspecting that, and the architect was with him, and he came across one small little defect in the structure. And he picked up the architect and threw him from top of that tower, killed him. So you see, this is how, tyrannical he was. So that's why you can well imagine if they didn't accept his offer, what he could have done to them. That's why they accepted it. But they, of course, maintained their spiritual life. Okay, Suman, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we will have 6 more questions.
I thought you, at that time, you said 7, and I answered already 3 or 4, and you still have 6.
There are new questions. There are new questions that have come up, Maharaj.
Okay.
9:20. So I would want to know how you want to account.
Well, I can. What about you all? Like, I can give another 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Maharaj. We have Sharon Hamilton Mataji. She's Sharanagati, initiated name.
Yeah.
Mataji, you are unmute.
Okay. Am I unmuted? Yes, I'm unmuted. Okay. Good evening. Good evening, and thank you so much for this wonderful retreat. So nice to be connected with you. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. And my question is, you were discussing about the expansion, about Sri Chaitanya, and I visualize Vrindavan and the Goswamis, and I'd like to just understand the life and soul of the expansion of Chaitanya and the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and how because that's the most important part about how how this all came about.
No,
And-
I got the question, Sharanagati, what is that? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's expansion as what?
Chaitanya's expansion of the life and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because yes, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because
What Vaishnav?
the Vaishnavas, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
Gaudiya.
Oh, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, I'm so sorry. It's a
No,
good-
that's all right. That's
Gaudiya,
all right.
Gaudiya. And how that helped the neophyte devotees understand the eternal relationship with the personality of the Supreme Personality of God and Sri Krishna.
Yeah. Well, at least everybody knows, how it is like to be in love with somebody. Is there anybody who can say that he doesn't know what love is, or how one feels when he is in deep love with someone? Huh? Do you know what love is? I'm sure you know, right? So now consider, like that love that we feel for other living entities is only the reflection of the love that we naturally had for the Supreme Personality of God. Today, because we have forgotten Krishna, we are reposing our love on different other objects, and we are feeling such deep attachment towards them, right? So that is the way to recognize how a devotee feels about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Just like a mother knows how much love she feels for her child, right? A lover knows how he feels about his beloved, right? Now, if in the material platform we feel that kind of love, then what to speak of our original love for Krishna? And when you become situated in a spiritual identity properly, yes, then we feel that love.
So, so what I was trying to say is that this whole movement is because of that. I mean, it wouldn't happen, and we wouldn't even be here, and we wouldn't. I mean, we are so grateful to be so fortunate to connect, and so that's what I was trying to touch on, because that's so important.
Yeah, right. Good. And so you're experiencing that love already. Hare Krishna. Hare Paul. Yes, Rajagopal.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. We have Geeta Kirti Mataji. Mataji, you are on unmute. Go ahead, Mataji.
Be sure, put the charge. It's showing battery is going down. Yes, Geeta Kirti.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. My question is, you spoke about several avatars of the Supreme Lord. So how does the Lord end each avatar? Seemingly, it may come across as if the Lord is leaving his material body, but how do we understand this from a transcendental perspective, Guru Maharaj?
Transcendental perspective is like he came, he acted as one of us, he was there and we could see him, we could see what he was doing. And now that he has finished his business, he is going back He manifested himself for the time being in front of us. That's why it's called Prokot Lila, manifest pastimes. And then he becomes unmanifest. You see, the thing is that his form is not material. His form is spiritual, but the spiritual form becomes manifest in front of us, perceivable to our sense perception, right? And then he becomes unmanifest. His spiritual form becomes unmanifest from our perception. So that is how we have to understand.
But when the Lord leaves his form, he leaves it just like any other human being, Guru Maharaj?
He can, you see, like he is omnipotent, supreme personality of Godhead. If he wants, he can create, a so-called apparently material form. He can create that form. And that he does to bewilder the demons, right? Like Krishna, like got shot by a hunter's arrow. And Krishna, that also was on his toe. And Krishna left his body. Krishna, like yesterday I was doing Bhishma Dev and Bhishma Dev's prayers day before yesterday. Bhishma Dev is saying, your body was pierced by my arrows, and Bhishma Dev arrows were not like a hunter's arrows. Bhishma Dev's arrows could deal with the demigods and injure them. Those arrows were being shot at Krishna. Nothing happened to him. Near Chennai, Madras, there is one temple called Parthasarathi Temple. There's a deity of Krishna. The body of that deity is, pierced, pricked with, marks, indicating, like Krishna after the battle of Kurukshetra came there, and that's how his body was at that time, So, and Krishna just by being, even an ordinary person die being hit by an arrow on his toe, and Krishna died. So this is how Krishna performs his pastimes. Krishna performs his pastimes in such a way that his love for the devotees increases, or his devotees' love for him increases, and his demons' disbelief in him increases. Right? Demons find the reason, oh, see, finally, we have seen he was an ordinary person. See, he died being hit by a hunter.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have Ajay Govind Prabhu. Prabhuji, you are on mute.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj also. Thank you for your service. Maharaj, my question is that you were talking about the relationship one should maintain is with Krishna, who is from Goloka, not the one, the son of Nanda Maharaj, not the one who is son of Vasudeva. So how do we understand that? Because if we see the Leela, Krishna take birth at Devaki and Vasudeva, and then same Krishna goes to Nanda Maharaj. So how do we understand that?
Understand what?
That one should try to maintain and the love for Krishna, who is son of Nanda Maharaj.
Okay. So you see, it's a matter of seeing him in different areas, right? In that respect, I mean, we can consider that the High Court judge, in the court, he is the honorable judge. In the club, he is Justice so-and-so to his friends. And at home, he has a relationship with his wife, mother, children, and so forth. Same person in three different areas is seen in three different ways by the people there, right? So similarly, is the same Krishna in three different areas performing his pastimes in a way. in that way. It's the same. That's how we have to see. It's not that, oh, like that, well, I love Krishna of Vrindavan, but I don't love Krishna of Dwarka. No. That's my attachment may be to Krishna, and I may cry when Krishna leaves Vrindavan, just the gopis did. When Krishna left Vrindavan, they were crying. They wouldn't let Krishna go. But when they met Krishna in Kurukshetra, although it's the Krishna of Dwarka, but their feeling was the same love for that Krishna. So it's the same person, you know. We have to, like, just as, you know, we love Krishna, does it mean that we don't love Lord Ramchandra?
We love. Yeah.
Right. We are simply seeing him performing different pastimes in different areas.
Sure. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Rajagopal,
Maharaj,
next.
we have Sureshwar Shyam Prabhu. You are on unmute, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for the nice class. Maharaj, my question is, in Purusha avatars, it is nothing but Lord Vishnu. And in Guna avatar also, we have Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. So is there any relationship, Maharaj, between the Purusha avatara Vishnu and the Guna avatara Vishnu?
Okay, yes. Difference in the sense, you know, difference of expansion. See, the Purusha avatar is creating this material nature, manifesting the material world, right? And that Vishnu as Gunavatar is functioning in this material nature after it has been created. So here he is, we have to understand that he is an expansion of Vishnu. He is a part of the demigods, actually. He is seen as a demigod, this Vishnu. Although he's Vishnu, he's maintaining it, functioning within that structure. All right?
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have Dhananjay Krishna Prabhu. I know we have 1 minute, so let's we can wrap up.
Yeah,
And
okay. Yeah.
Dhananjay Krishna Prabhu, you're on unmute.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances on your lotus feet. Wonderful class we have. We're enjoying very much. And thank you for that. Actually, Radha has a question. And she's very happy to hear second position from your lotus mouth. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please take my humble obeisances. So my question was, you said that someone who is completely surrendered to Krishna, he is free. And you also said that if someone turns their face like to the opposite side of Krishna and to the outside, that he gets caught in Maya. So if someone is fully surrendered, is there a possibility of that person falling down? And if there is, why?
If one becomes, or if one was he surrendered before?
Yeah. So if he was already surrendered, is there a possibility that he can like fall down, and like why?
Okay. Yes. Like, no. You see, if he is surrendered to Krishna, then he won't look away from Krishna. All right. You know, Krishna is all attractive. And if you already know his all attractive aspect, how can you turn away from him? Right? So, but now the point is that now somehow or other we have become separated from Krishna. So let us try to develop our attachment to Krishna. That is what devotional service is. And I'm sure that's what you are doing very nicely. Are you?
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Rajagopal, how many more questions are there?
We have one more question, Maharaj.
Okay, so I can take.
Prabhu would like to say something to you after this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Mataji, Gaurangi Mataji, you're on unmute.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna,
yeah.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. My question is, there are many Vaikunthas and Mahavishnu is the expansion of from Vaikuntha. So we know there are many Vaikuntha and one Mahavishnu. It is contradictory. Please explain.
Well, from one of the Vaikunthas, he expanded as Mahavishnu. Okay. The main thing is inconceivable. But we have to see from, yes, there are many, many Vaikunthas, Vaikuntha planets. From one such Vaikuntha planet, Narayan expanded as Mahavishnu and material nature became manifest. Okay.
So Mahavishnu is one.
Mahavishnu, yes, Mahavishnu is one. In this context. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Now, yes, yesterday, Purnachandra made a request. Actually, today was supposed to be the last day of the. So Purnachandra requested that if I could extend it by one more day because we couldn't do Ramananda Roy, Mahaprabhu's meeting with Ramananda Roy. So Purnachandra, you wanted to go on for one more day?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, please.
Yeah.
Yes, Guru.
How does everybody feel?
Yes, Maharaj. We are all excited, Maharaj. Please.
Okay, so I'll do it tomorrow also.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj.
Lord Premanande.
Maharaj, Devakanandan Prabhu wanted to say something. Devakanandan Prabhu, you are on unmute. Devakanandan Prabhu, you are on mute now.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Devakanandan Prabhu.
Maharaj, pranam, koti koti pranam.
Hare Krishna.
My desire is fulfilled. I every time this retreat came, the point of retreat with you, and I remember asking Purnachandra Prabhu few times that can you please request Maharaj to speak on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So this time, by the divine arrangement, you picked that topic, and it was very nourishing to my heart. I'm sure it nourished so many other hearts. We were looking forward for your Vapu and Vani both. But it happened actually more or less through virtual connectivity by the wonderful arrangement of our dear Madhupati Prabhu and all the wonderful Vaishnavas. So I really wanted to say that we're really eternally indebted to you, Maharaj, for sharing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Just like Srila Prabhupada's books make everything so simple, your divine words coming through those teachings also make things very simple. Devotees touched, their hearts are touched, and thank you. We're eternally grateful to you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Devakanandan Prabhu. All glories to Prabhupada.
Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'll see you all tomorrow, same time.
Yes, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Gaur. His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj ki Jai. His Grace Guru Gauranga Prabhu ki Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Namo Guru Maharaj ki.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.